One of the largest state parks in Arkansas is Village Creek State Park, boasting nearly 7,000 acres along Crowley's Ridge, and its unique land and history make it a must-see destination. Another famous park is Petit Jean, and now its majesty and beauty have been captured musically. We have a sneak peek at a brand new composition played by our own Arkansas Symphony Orchestra and our own host of Arkansas's Great Outdoors, Lee Wing. That's all ahead on this edition of Arkansas's Great Outdoors. When driving through eastern Arkansas and while appreciating Arkansas's #1 in the nation rice farms, make sure to notice the amazing nature, especially along Crowley's Ridge. The unique formation in the earth brings beauty and natural experiences and some history as well.
There was a need for a park in this part of Arkansas, and knowing of this unique ridge that we're on called Crowley's Ridge, we knew that this was a valuable resource for just the flora and fauna that is available here. But historically, this is also a rare gem, knowing that we have one of the best preserved routes from the Trail of Tears, known as Bell's Route, or the Old Military Road, or the Memphis to Little Rock Road. There is something for everyone to do here at Village Creek State Park. So if you are interested in camping, we have 96 campsites. If you're thinking that's not too much in your comfort zone, we also have 10 beautiful cabins that were renovated in 2019. If you are more of a sports enthusiast, we do have a beautiful 27-hole golf course range called The Ridges. If you have a horse and you love going on trails with your horse, we have a unique setup in our equestrian camp where you can actually bring your horse and they can reside in one of the stalls or stables, and you can take them out on our multi-use trails. If you don't own a horse, maybe you have a bike, we have over 30 plus miles of multi-use hiking and biking and horseback riding trails. So there's a little bit of something for everyone here. We also have 2 beautiful lakes. They're not huge, but they are stocked with lots of fish. So if you are an avid fisherman or fisherwoman, we do have bass, we do have crappie, we do have catfish, and then we do have some sunfish and bren to enjoy. At those 2 lakes, we also have swimming areas. So if you like to cool off in the heat, we have that accessible for everyone as well. Oh, and kayaking, I forgot kayaking. There's just a lot of stuff to do here.
Village Creek is the second largest state park in the system, behind only Hobbs State Park in northwest Arkansas. As Ms. Wallace mentioned, the sheer size of the park affords a wide variety of activities. But one of the unique features needs to be seen from the ground and the air.
So when you come through Village Creek State Park, you'll see on your right that there's a flag plaza. At the bottom, it is decorated with rocks and concrete to resemble the Arkansas state flag. Within the plaza, there are 5 flags. We have the U.S. flag, we have the Arkansas flag, we have the France flag, we have the Spain flag, and then we have the Confederate flag. So all of these flags represent at one point or another of representation of government that resided over what is today Village Creek State Park and within the state of Arkansas.
One of the great features only found at Village Creek State Park is one of the largest preserved segments of the Trail of Tears. A little later in the show, we'll walk that trail with park interpreter Megan Wallace and see the very unique landscape that sets Crowley's Ridge apart from the rest of the state. Now, hiking is a favorite activity at Village Creek and all over Arkansas. We've got our hiking expert Mallory Lindsay with weekly tips on how to get the most out of your next hike.
So when I first started hiking, finding the right shoe for me was probably the most intimidating thing to consider. There's so many options, as you can tell. So we're gonna break down probably the 3 most common options that you're gonna encounter. First is like a trail running shoe. Now these shoes will look very similar to a tennis shoe. They're going to have a little bit more traction, but the main thing about these is they're very flexible compared to the other hiking shoe. So not a ton of support, but a lot of flexibility with the traction. Next, we have your day hiking shoe. So this is going to be a little bit more rugged than your trail hikers. They're going to have some really great traction on the bottom. They might be water resistant or even waterproof. They have a little bit more firmness in the outer sole, so it's going to require less time to break in than maybe a multi-day backpacker shoe, but it's still going to give you some really great support. Next is your backpacker boot. Now these guys, I highly recommend if you're gonna go backpacking, get these about a month before because they need to be broken in or else you're going to get blisters. These have a really rigid outer sole. The lug pattern on the bottom is going to be much deeper. With the lug pattern being deeper though, the tighter the lug pattern is, the more the mud is going to stick. So depending on what terrain you're going to be going in, you really want to look at what that pattern is. Another great accessory or something to consider when you're buying a boot or one of your hiking shoes is an ice spike. Now these go on the bottom of the boot and that helps to add more traction. So if you're going through ice or snow, then it can really dig in and keep you safe.
Thank you, Mallory, and thank you, Bad Boy Mowers, for loving the outdoors like we do. Now, when we come back, we will head over to Petit Jean and literally hear how a renowned composer blended the story of Petit Jean and the inspiring nature of the area together in a symphonic production. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait. Many of you know that Lee not only helps host this show, but she also plays violin in the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra, and the symphony recently blended your love of great music with your love of the outdoors.
It was a thrill for me to have my two worlds combine. I love the outdoors and I love playing with the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. I'm excited for you all to hear from our maestro, Jeff Robson. We're here with Jeff Robson, the conductor of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. Jeff, it was thrilling to get to be a part of the recording of The Wind and Petit Jean.
Same for me. It was really a great experience for the orchestra, and we're going to have this beautiful product at the end of it. It's recording out on all the major streaming platforms, and people all over the world will be able to hear the sounds of Arkansas Symphony Orchestra.
That's great. So it'll be on Spotify and all of that?
Yes,
That's
and
fabulous.
Apple Music and all of them. And it will join our 2021 recording of the music of Arkansas composer Florence Price, which is up there too.
Oh, that's great. How did it come about? How did you get together with Chris Theophanides and get this going?
So this piece of music, The Wind and Petit Jean, was written in 2014, and it was a very special story actually. This piece was a gift from the players of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. They commissioned the composer, Chris Theophanides, hired him to write this piece of music that was going to somehow in some way celebrate Arkansas, and it was a gift to the board of directors of the ASO that had really come together to help the orchestra through a true dire financial crisis in 2008 and 2009, and we were headed back towards solid ground, and the players decided to commission this piece of music and celebrate the whole organization in the state of Arkansas.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of music. I loved getting to play it. It's beautiful and reflects the beauty of Arkansas.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait for everyone to hear this incredible piece of music that was inspired not just by the legend of Petit Jean, but also that actual place, one of our most beautiful state parks. And the composer, Chris Theophanides, went there and was inspired by hearing the story and then walking through up the beautiful mountain and through the paths and lake and waterfall and everything, and really found a sense of kind of nostalgia, found a sense of fleeting memories, wind rustling, and you can hear all of this in the piece.
Yes.
And so it's a real showcase for what a symphony orchestra can sound like and can do. And so The Wind and Petit Jean, it's going to be on all the major streaming platforms. So if you listen to your music on Spotify or Apple Music, it'll be out soon. And if you just search Arkansas Symphony Orchestra, you'll find it.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you. Now we're excited to share with you a clip of the Wind and Petit Jean performed by the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra.
That must have been thrilling to play the songs and to know how much nature inspired that music.
Carlton, some of my favorite symphonic works were inspired by nature. The Wind and Petit Jean is a fabulous example of what beautiful things happen when we let that inspiration work in us. The symphony just built a brand new home for its offices, smaller performances, rehearsals, and teaching. A fun feature of the building is that they designed the outside architecture to reflect the art being created on the inside.
So we've been designing and building this structure with WER Architects for 4 years. This has been in the works and is finally finished. And you can see this space, which will house our River Rhapsodies chamber music series, as well as orchestra rehearsals. We have a whole teaching wing with 2 large classrooms and where we can have group classes and that sort of thing. And then there are the administrative offices as well. And so it's a really fantastic building that was designed just to meet the needs of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra, for us to bring the power of music to the community, which is everything that we're trying to do. Outside the building, it's a beautiful building in a great setting right here in downtown Little Rock, but you'll see there are these architectural features on the outside that are meant to resemble stage curtains being drawn and framed by these windows where you can see into the space and creating interaction between the outdoors and the inside, and it's really a marvelous architectural feature, and we're so lucky to be part of it.
You'll have to come out and see the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra sometime.
And when you're at the symphony, you're always safe. But when you're outside, it's important to make sure that you're safe in whatever your activity is. Now, here's another safety tip from our friends at the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas.
Hi, my name's Kirsten Bartlow with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Today I'm here to talk about the seasonality of paddling in Arkansas. We have wonderful rivers, lakes, and streams to paddle, but there are times when the rivers are too high and times they may be too low. Get involved with a group like the Arkansas Canoe Club or other paddling organizations to learn more about the seasonality of paddling. Knowledge is power, so it's important to learn before you get out on the water. Visit websites like the U.S. Geological Survey's statewide stream flow data, or go to American Whitewater's river page, where you can learn more about the conditions of a river before you get out to paddle.
When Arkansas's Great Outdoors returns, we head back to eastern Arkansas and we'll take a guided hike with park interpreter Megan Wallace along the preserved portion of the Trail of Tears. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe. History is learned from books, from stories passed down, and also from walking the paths where others have walked. Village Creek State Park in eastern Arkansas has one of the longest preserved stretches of the Trail of Tears. Let's take a hike with park interpreter Megan Wallace.
Here at Village Creek State Park, we offer a lot of amenities, but the one that I am most proud to be able to present every weekend is a guided hike of the Trail of Tears. Here at Village Creek State Park, we have one of the best preserved land routes of the Trail of Tears. And it's not by our doing, it's actually due to Mother Nature herself. So due to where we are located on Crowley's Ridge, we have a unique topsoil called loess. And it is so fine that it is able to be carried away by wind and water through erosion. So as time passed, the wind and water continually carved out the road, to make it even in like a bowl-like shape that we'll see today. It'll feel like we're in a little mini valley in some instances. So as you join along, you'll be able to see some unique features due to the erosion with exposed roots and that bowl-like shape. Up until this point, we were on a trail that led to the road. We are now on that road itself, as you can see behind me. There are different names for this road. Some include the Old Military Road, Bell's Route, and the Memphis to Little Rock Road. Here we know that many people traveled because this was one of the most direct routes to get to what is now called Oklahoma. There were at least 660 Cherokee that we know of that came as a group that were on this road that made it to the other end of Arkansas near Fort Smith. So looking in front of me, we would be walking towards Memphis, but going behind me, we would actually be heading towards Little Rock. So here at Village Creek State Park, we don't have the whole road itself, but we do have a good portion, about 1 mile worth of this road that we've been able to preserve due to Mother Nature. So as we continue on the road, you'll see some of that erosion that I was talking about with that curved bowl-like structure. So as you can see here, I am in what we called that bowl-like shape. So if we're thinking 200 years ago when the road was first being established, the road itself would have been level with the tree line above us. So as we continue on our walk, we'll be able to explore and see a lot of that root exposure and what erosion has left us with after removing that topsoil called loess. So as we continue, you'll see, oh, this one's pretty cool right here. It makes me wonder how long they're going to be able to stay up, but they are very grounded in their root foundation. Surprisingly enough, we actually see more trees fall that are on level ground than these that are on or near the road itself. And then you also notice that there are younger trees within the road itself, more small and short of stature compared to the ones that are on the top of the ridge right here. Because the road was designed to be at least 20 feet wide with all obstructions removed. So thinking about the technology they had back then, everything was man-powered. So hand saws, axes, picks, shovels, anything to get all the tree stumps removed, which, as you can see, we're in the thick of it.
Village Creek offers quite a bit, but the added value of history along with ecology is something very worthwhile. We hope you are enjoying our state park tours. It's a great way to appreciate all there is to see and do in our great outdoors. Now, when we return, we'll take a look at some new fishing lures just hitting the market and hear about how our park interpreter got her outdoors knowledge. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait.
You can take somebody out on one of our aluminum boats and they think they're in a glass boat.
That's aluminum. That looks like a fiberglass boat.
I couldn't believe that was an aluminum boat.
That's the first time I've ever been in an aluminum boat. It felt just like I was in a fiberglass bass boat.
More times than I can count, you'll talk to someone that spent some time in the water on one of our aluminum boats that come out and say, if I was blindfolded, I would tell you that that was a fiberglass boat.
Everybody says it rides like a fiberglass boat. 100% rides like a fiberglass boat.
Sometimes you've got to show them the welds on our aluminum boats just to prove to them that they are aluminum boats.
It'll turn on a dime. It's fast. It gets on plane in a hurry.
I can run a smaller motor, smaller batteries, and still get the same fit, finish, and ride I can in a glass boat.
The Vexus aluminum product, by design, it has more curb appeal, it has more innovation, it's more fishable.
We call our Vexus AVX boats glass-infused aluminum hybrids, and that is because we put a lot of fiberglass components in these boats.
You can pull up to any ramp in that boat. People are going to say, that's the coolest aluminum boat I've ever seen. How did they do that?
You got to start at the hull. It's a pad hull that's designed to handle rough water, that's designed for performance.
You hit that throttle and you're just up on plane, just almost
instantly.
Very good, very fast, like riding a rocket when you come out of the hole.
It was so quick. You're there. The boat's just sitting there already.
It was like just on plane as soon as you push that pedal down.
When it comes to the rod and tackle storage, I think obviously for a tournament fisherman that is a big consideration, and it's one that we take very serious.
Our aluminum is shaped more like a glass boat that we're all used to, and it just looks better on the water. It looks better on the trailer, and people notice that.
The sheer performance of the boat was beyond any expectation that I could ever have.
We really wanted to focus on building an aluminum product that rode like a glass boat, that fished like a glass boat, that had an aluminum price.
Take a ride, you'll know the difference.
Each year we go to the annual ICAST convention and preview the new products that enhance our enjoyment of the outdoors. One of the nation's leading manufacturers of fishing lures is an Arkansas company called Pradco. Chad Warner always has something new to help us catch more fish.
Hey guys, we're at ICAST 2024, Orlando, Florida. Chad Warner here with Pradco Outdoor Brands at the Bobby Garland area. Check this out. We've got something that's innovative in crappie fishing. This is called the Bobby Garland Head Turner. What makes this bait cool is it's a dual blade, rotates 360 degrees this way and 360 degrees this way. Super unique in the crappie world. Multiple techniques, vertical jigging, strolling, trolling, casting, and it's killer because it shows up great on forward-facing sonar. Check out the Bobby Garland Head Turner. I'm here at the Booyah booth and I want to show you something that's super innovative. This is the Booyah Flashpoint Jerkbait. We wanted to bring something in Booyah as far as a jerkbait that no one has done so far. And we embedded a blade in this head right here. And what that does, it gives you two things. It gives you an additional flash for the fish, which is an attractant, but then also that blade causes this bait to shine on forward-facing sonar. So forward-facing sonar has changed how we develop baits. It's caused us to be more innovative because with forward-facing sonar, you can see what the fish are doing in live time. So you can see how they react and what they're doing to your bait. So the development process has become totally different because we want to be able to see these baits and how the fish react to them. And that's why we developed the Flashpoint Jerkbait.
Throughout this program, you saw Village Creek State Park interpreter Megan Wallace, who showed us the park and taught all about the nature along the way. Now, she comes about her knowledge of the outdoors honestly.
Growing up on a farm, beef cattle, dairy goats, and chickens. You learn a lot about animals, but I learned the most from my dad. He was just very in tune and knew his surroundings and grew up in that area, so he knew his home better than anyone. So every now and then he would be like, "Can you tell me what bird that is flying in the air, just based off of its wing span and patterns, or can you identify that plant?" So growing up, having that instilled with me led me to enjoy the outdoors. I never thought I would find a career in the outdoors. I got my degree in mathematics with minors in biology and computer science, so there was still somewhat of an education in that format. But from my previous experience serving in the AmeriCorps at a camp in Little Rock, I was able to learn how to teach children through 3rd through 5th grade about the great outdoors and how to camp or how to identify plants and such. So I think with that experience, that led me to where I am today.
There's always something to learn outside and people willing to teach it. It's a great way to enjoy life. We hope you enjoyed this episode. A trip to Village Creek provides just about every activity you could ask for in a state park, as well as some amazingly preserved history. Your Arkansas Symphony Orchestra provided a beautiful tribute to the legend and natural beauty of Petit Jean State Park. We'll see you next time somewhere in Arkansas's great outdoors. Thank you for watching.